Speaker will be Gaye Yazgan from University in Cyprus. I know her since many years because thanks to her we organized a big conference in Istanbul at Universal Logic. It was in 2015. Very nice university and very nice staff. So please.
Okay. Hello everybody. My voice is normally sold out, so I'm going to keep it going. So let me introduce you myself first. First of all, it's very lovely to be in Egypt. I love you guys so much because the people in Egypt are so friendly, so nice, wonderful. So I'm so happy, Janice, you invited me. My name is Erdem Miray Yazgan Yalkın. Yalkın is my husband who's supporting me all the time. That's good. Very good. It's very hard to support a philosopher, you know. So, well, you see, my presentation is going to be on cats, but it's because my dear friend Janice, we have a common interest in cats. So he asked me if it's possible to do a presentation on cats considering the ancient Egypt. And I say, why not? Because I love animals so much. So it's a good idea. But my proficiency in philosophy is I'm working on the Buddhist and the Jain philosophy, which embraces the principle of non-contradiction very, very much. So I enjoyed your discussions here. What about me? I'm retired from Istanbul University, so that's how we moved into Cyprus. Originally, I'm a Turkish citizen, but we live in Cyprus right now. And I'm working in the Bahçeşehir University, thanks to my assistant, because she was a student in Cyprus with me, and she's in psychology department. Now she is helping me here also. She's Egyptian. Thank you, Aya, for everything. So, well, we are going to talk about cats, but what I'm going to tell you is going to be, well, first of all, my proficiency is not on animals, so I'm going to apologize from the professor if I say something wrong, okay? But this is only my interest. So, you see, what I was trying to do when I was talking about the logic and the cats, logical aspects of the cats, the reasoning way of them, if there is, there is. So we will see cognitive processes of them, and then we will relate it with the ancient Egyptians, why they were so interested in cats. So why did they see it divine? We will try to explain this. Then at the end of my presentation, I would like to do something, amusing, funny. I'll be interested in doing a relationship between the logic of cats and the logic of humans, if we can compare them or if we can bring them all together. So, well, as I see here, some people naturally have the art of oratory. Me, no. I'm going to continue with my slides, so you'll join me with the slides, hopefully. Okay. So, from the ancient times to present days, cats have long attracted the attention. Oh, how's my voice like this? Should I keep it like this? Is it fine? Yes. Can you hear me like this? Fine, because it's so loud. Okay. So from the ancient times to the present, cats have long attracted the attention of humanity with their mysterious behavior and seemingly incomprehensible logic, as we say. Understanding the intelligence of cats and the logic behind their actions is very important in order to solve the mysteries about them. Why do we see them mystical creatures? So the mystery of cats encompasses a range of features, from their graceful movements, as you know, or majestic stances, to their gaze that seems peer into the depths to the unknown. You know, it's very, very freaky at night when they're at home and they're looking at the wall, staring at the wall and trying to seem like they see something, but you don't see anything over there, so it's very freaky. So the point that should be emphasized here is that cats' behavioral patterns have an extremely complex system of cognitions that have been owned through evolution and experience. So, within the framework of the superficial examinations, generalizations are made to explain the behavior of them. So, however, these generalizations do not enable us to have complete and solid information about the true nature of the cats. On the contrary, such precise and sharp approaches that exclude very subjective situations give rise to misunderstanding and evaluations about the nature of cats. We can list some of these misconceptions like common misunderstandings about the behaviors of cats, which are popular as pets around the world as follows. So we say that cats are solitary, independent, indifferent, and distant animals. Are they? This judgment, which may be correct for some cats under some conditions, may not be valid for certain situations and the cats. While cats can be independent, they are also social beings who enjoy friendship with both humans and other animals and can establish deep bonds with each other. So I can see that at my cats at home. Like we are owning 6 cats, 2 dogs inside of the home, and outside I'm looking after like 12 cats. So I can say they are individual creatures, yes, but they have bondings with us also. Another misunderstanding or misapproach to their behaviors, we can say, cats are ungrateful creatures that act only their own interests. Well, such a perspective claims that the cats in question lack emotionally depth. However, many studies on cats have shown that cats creatures that can experience a wide range of emotions, including compassion, fear, and even the jealousy, like the human creatures, mostly like women's. Huh? Cats are nocturnal animals. In fact, like many predator species such as like owls, they are most active at dawn and the dusk. So, however, they can adjust their programs according to the conditions and routines of their environment and adapt their consciousness to suit different environmental conditions. You see, my cats, the cats outside of my home, that's the case for them. They're hunting, yes. But the cats inside of my home, they're sleeping with us during the night. They're not moving, they're doing nothing. So people say it's like cats are purring when they're happy. Okay, Aya, you always tell me like they're purring, they like me, so when I go there, they're scratching. It's not the case all the time. Yeah? Yeah. So while it's generally associated the purring with satisfaction, research has shown that cats purr when they're pain, afraid, or stressed. So when you approach them, they might be purring, but she must be or he must be in stress. So you have to be careful. The very reason I am giving this example, we have an idiom in my own language, in Turkish. We say, kedi gibi 4 ayağının üstüne düştün, means you fall on your 4 legs like as cats. That's not the case. Stop showing your children that they can fall on 4. I saw so many mothers like playing in the playground that's showing the cats fall with the 4 legs. No, they can be injured. So this is not the only thing. You know, physically and genetically, they have an ability to move very flexibly, but it doesn't mean that you should throw them from the terrace or something to show that they can fall for. So we can multiply those examples, but I'm not going to take that much time. Well, what we really want to point out through these examples is that we need to approach the studies on cats with an open mind and in order to eliminate these misunderstandings and evaluations. As a matter of fact, various aspects of the cat clonation have been examined within the framework of the elements that are subject to the false generalizations we have just mentioned, and the factors underlying their behavior have been taken into account. Based on this, information about how cats perceive the world around them, how they produce solutions to problems, how they communicate with each other and the other stimuli, in short, how they interact with their environment has been revealed through the relevant literature. So they have been working on those stuff, the scientists. As a result of these studies, various findings that will reveal the mysteries of cat combination as follows. Well, cats have emotional perception. So as Casey mentions from the quote, I'm not going to read the quote because I have slides to follow up and we don't have that much time maybe. Cats, and what he says, the Casey says in here is, cats have keen senses, including sharp hearing, excellent night vision, and the sensitive sense of smell. Another thing, cats have problem-solving skills. And the brochure mentions cats demonstrate problem-solving abilities in a variety of situations, such as accessing food, overcoming the obstacle, and participating in plays. And studying their problem-solving strategies reveals their cognitive flexibility and their reasoning abilities. Another thing, cats have social cognition, like us humans. Well, Happen mentioned in this quote is, contrary to the stereotype that cats are solitary animals, research shows that cats exhibit social intelligence and form complex social relationships with humans and also other animals. I can give you a good example for this. It's like, we have a cat in our city. Thank you. Okay, we are looking after one cat. I think she thinks she's a dog because she doesn't play with the cats, but it's like every time when I walk my dog with my husband, it's like she's coming after us and she's playing with the dogs, and we have to. First time I was so scared if they are going to be fighting, but they're not. They have the communication skills between them, more social than humankind, I think. It's like, I know so many people who are freaking off the dogs and the cats while they're eating. It's like, just leave them alone. It's like, sit there, eat your food, let them to walk around. So, as I say, contrary to the stereotype that cats are solitary animals, research shows that they exhibit social intelligence and form complex social relationships with humans and other animals, and they have the social dynamics about it. Well, also the researchers show that they have memory skills and the learning abilities. So Circle mentions cats have impressive memory skills and the ability to learn through the observation and the experience. Every research conducted today on how cats store information and create associations between information reveals their cognitive abilities. One another thing, cats have communication skills and emotional reactions that shows they have a psychological behavioral patterns. So when Happer says, again, cats communicate through a variety of vocalizations, body language and facial expressions. Analyzing their communication cues and the emotional displays provides insights to their ability to communicate feelings, needs, and intentions. Once again, an example from my own cats. We have names. We think that we name the cats and we are calling them with their cat names, right? And they are naming us too. That was the crazy thing that when I realized with Toros. It's like his name is Ho, and my name is meow. So it's different calls for the different attentions. So, as we can understand from those examples, there are numbers of research topics that will reveal the logical reasoning of cats, and in this way solve the mystery of the cat cognition and make us understand the complex structure of the cat's intelligence. So, those are emotional perception that they have, problem-solving skills, social cognition, memory and learning, and the communication and emotions. If you want to summarize this part, the intelligence of cats is depicted by their use of cognitive processes. And these cognitive processes go from tracking prey to navigating the social dynamics. As we will explain shortly, the foundation of logical reasoning in cats is done by taking three basic elements by the sciences. So they said how we came up with those abilities is following up by this. Cats have been observed to have the ability to evaluate the situations before taking actions. Well, the common view is that cats are impulsive animals, like other animals. But however, as a result of observations, it has been revealed that cats have the ability to evaluate their environment before taking action. So they are standing there and they're thinking about what they are going to do. Cats' cognitive skills here are inferential ways of thinking that allow them to evaluate the potential risks, rewards, and the behaviors that adapt to a variety of environments. Whether in this cats use their cognitive abilities to navigate complex obstacles such as traffic, crowd, and unfamiliar structures. I can give you an example what happened to me like when I was trying to cross the streets. So I was standing in front of the lights for crossing streets and the cat was waiting with me. The moment I started to walk with the green light, it started to walk with me for crossing the street. That happens with the dogs also, maybe you saw, I don't know. To survive and thrive in these harsh environments, they may use strategies such as hiding in safe areas, following familiar routes, or searching for food sources. So there is also an example about this one. It's like the pregnant cat who cannot give a birth. It was in the news in Turkey. It was so interesting. So the cat came to the emergency door of the hospital while screaming, and then they found out that she was having problem with giving a birth. Yeah, they helped her. So throughout this process, cats rely on their logical instincts, develop with their cognitive abilities. In this context, their emotional perception, their keen sense of sight, hearing, and smell allows them to gather information about their environment and make informed decisions to ensure their survival. This logical instinct is a result of their emotional perception as well as their social interaction and the communication skills. So, although cats are often portrayed as solitary creatures, they have an advanced understanding of social dynamics and the hierarchies in the social groups. For example, in multi-cat households like my house, cats exhibit complex social behaviors such as grooming, skin marking, and play establish and maintain social bonds. They use body language and facial expressions to communicate their intentions and emotions to other cats and humans. So I mentioned this. So these social behaviors enable them to exhibit the new attitudes by taking into account what they will have learned from their past experiences. So if cats attempt to communicate a need or desire is responded to positively, such as providing food or showing attention, repetition of the behavior in similar situations becomes learnable. This process of reinforcement and learning reflects of a logical approach to social interaction and the communication. Another thing that we have been always underlying, they have an ability, they're expert on problem-solving skills. Well, from navigating particularly complex environments to retrieving elusive prey or rewards, cats offer creative and effective solutions to the challenges you face. Their ability to analyze problems, develop strategies, and implement solutions highlights the depth of their cognitive abilities and the capacity for logical thinking. For example, when faced with a closed door, he or she, like my cat, use a trial and error to determine who will actually open the door. To do this, he can or she can activate his or her decision-making mechanisms to open the door by clawing the handle, pushing the door, or even jumping on the doorknob. So this process demonstrates a logical approach to achieving a desired result through the experiment and observation, they say. Another important point is that cats understand the cause and effect relationship. For example, a cat that drops its toy from the table while playing with its own toy and observes it falling on the floor may learn to repeat this action to achieve desired result of playing with the toy. In this context, the ability to recognize and manipulate causal relationships shows their logical skills again. Another important detail in cats' ability to demonstrate their logical reasoning abilities, in addition to their cognitive abilities, is the factors that affect their behavior. So those factors are their instincts, their individual personalities, and their learned behaviors. As a matter of fact, these factors can cause cats react differently to the same situations. And therefore, we can say that these factors cause cats to exhibit different character structures. Instinctive behaviors such as hunting, scratching, and marking territory are deeply embedded in the genetic structure of the cats. However, as we mentioned before, cats can learn from their past experience and interactions. In this context, they adapt their behavior according to feedback and rewards. Moreover, each cat has a unique personality characterized by preferences, quirks, and behavior patterns that shape its interaction with the environment. Well, as a result, observation of cats' logical instincts reveal a complex and multifaceted understanding of their behavior and the cognitive abilities, from problem-solving and activities in the society. Well, discovering the logic of cats in ancient Egypt is a very, very interesting subject. The ancient Egyptian society, which emphasized the practical aspect of the knowledge rather than theoretical, and in this context played a very, very important role, according to me at least, in the foundation and the development of our world of thought, acted within the framework of practical awareness in the context of the existence of cats, as in many areas. As we have just stated, cats had a respected and separate status in ancient Egyptian society. So much so that cats are often depicted in ancient Egyptian art and the mythology as symbolizing various aspects of life, death, and spirituality. Well, of course, it would be inappropriate to think that the ancient Egyptians attributed the spirituality to cats out of blue. No, it was not the case. As a result of observing and evaluating the extraordinary hunting techniques of cats and their careful interaction with humans, we can say that the ancient Egyptians deeply appreciated the intelligence and the intuition displayed by their fellow friends and integrated them into their daily lives in this context. Moreover, in ancient Egyptian society, their presence in the home environment was not only for the practical purpose, but also was spiritual. As a matter of fact, in the ancient Egyptian society, cats were symbols of the honesty and good luck within the framework of belief systems. In short, by observing the logical instincts of cats such as hunting and protection from the pests, the ancient Egyptian civilization secured their existence in the society by associating with the powerful goddess how do you read it? Bastet? Bastet, you say? But they say sometimes Bastet. Go with what's it? Bastet, and giving them a divine dimension. Well, the belief that cats, which have been given a divine social status within the society, represent the essence of the Bastet, has led to the cats being respected and sacred beings due to their divine connection with the goddess. Often depicted as a lioness or domestic cat, Bastet has become a symbol of protection, fertility, and joy. And in Egyptian mythology, Bastet, who is often depicted as a lioness or a woman with a lioness hat, is sometimes depicted as a compassionate mother, but at the same time as a fierce protector when it is necessary. So with this feature, Bastet symbolized the duality of the nature. It was so important figure in the ancient mythology of Egypt. Therefore, as we have stated, the relationship established between Kas and Bastet can be seen as securing the respect and the admiration for Kas in ancient Egyptian culture as the spiritual level. Well, Bastet, who was a great power and authority as a daughter of the sun god Ra, is a mythological figure who has gained the respect and admiration of both mortals and the gods within the framework of the ancient Egyptian belief world. So the depiction of Bastet as an elegant and noble goddess further emphasizes her divine qualities and her role as the protector of the innocent. It's believed that Bastet not only protects homes and families, but also has the authority to drive away evil spirits from the home. In this context, cats symbolizing elegance, agility, and the divine protection in ancient Egyptian culture within the belief system gain importance as protectors of the houses and the temples due to their ability to hunt and to control the harmful ones. Respect for cats in ancient Egyptian world reached its peak with the worship of Bastet, who was often depicted with the feline features and was accompanied by domestical cats. So, when we make a big leap from ancient times to the present day, we see that cats are the creatures that most capture human imagination in the ever-changing texture of human-animal relations. Even though thousands of years have passed, our admiration for the cats, which we describe as mysterious creatures, still continue. Throughout the journey from ancient age to contemporary culture, cats have become creatures that remind us the depth of and the complexity of the animal world with their intelligence, elegance, and mysterious charm. The enduring appeal and admiration felt for cats, despite rapid technological advances and changing social norms, in a way points to the profound impact of our collective consciousness. Is the fact from ancient Egyptian gods to literary characters like the Cheshire Cat, cats have long held a revered place in human culture. So much so that in the midst of the chaos of today's modern life, cats are still in the sense and stability of comfort. For example, you can see it when you open your social media, you can see people are sharing happy videos that shows the cats are playing and everything. So those videos and increasing number of pet-friendly venues clearly shows our passion for felines. In my opinion, cats are not only our beloved companions, but also important figures that remind us the depth and the complexity of the animal kingdom. The presence of cats in my life makes me feel like there is a tangible connection between myself and the wild world. All the behaviors and the instincts of cats provide information about the intricacies of the natural world. And this information causes my admiration for the nature and the animal world to increase even more. Ultimately, I can say that in a world full of constant change and uncertainty, our enduring fascination with cats from ancient times to present is a testament to the eternal bond between the humans and animals. Well, in fact, I would like to add that carefully. Well, what I'm saying is, when I started to do, thanks to Janice, when I started to do the researches on cats, when I started to talk about the size of them, I made a connection between them and the philosophers. You see, for example, their evaluation of the situations before taking action and our resorting to our philosophical knowledge. Maybe. Their cautious approach to the new experiences, as I mentioned. Well, we also approach facts and events with a sense of curiosity and amazement. And as we first keep a certain distance from the subject we are dealing with, we do theoria, you may say in Greek sense. And also they have problem-solving skills, we have rational ways of thinking. And as we both have independent attitudes, And in fact, we are social beings as we are doing. We are socializing. People say that we are not social, but we are. Then what happened? I'm gonna sit so you can see it. Maybe I'm blocking you. When I did this work, of course, I drew an attention between philosophers and the cats. So this question came to my mind. Could a relationship be established between the logic of cats and various logical systems of humanity? But I told you my main area, my original proficiency is on Jain logic. So we can we do any comments on Jain logic and the cats? Well, Jain logic was developed by the Jain thinkers, directly related and balanced with their ontological and metaphysical acceptance as so-called Saptabhangi Nyaya or Syadvada, which we call as sevenfold predication. By this model, Jain thinkers defend that if one has to say something about the truth of something, that truth is the truth itself. She should comprehend that there are 7 possible approaches to handle it. I'm not going to talk about it. I would like to talk about it, but maybe in the next Congress we can do it. Now I'm focusing on cats. So, but it says like in here, if you want to talk about the truth of something, putting aside the non-contradiction principle, we have to comprehend 7 possible ways of thinking. So, the Cat's logic and Jain logic relation, here we can also Anekantavada. A central element of Jain logic is the idea of Anekantavada, which emphasizes the multifaceted nature of reality and the importance of the multiple perspectives in this context. In this context, the 7-step inference or sevenfold predication, we can say, which we also can call as Syadvada, in accordance with the Jain thought system, shows us that every idea put forward about something can be true. As a matter of fact, according to this method of inference, the truth is relative. And that depending on the difference between difference of perspectives, the truth about something contains a certain amount of the truth. Likewise, this reality may not be evaluated correctly from some different perspectives. Just as Anekantavada suggests that reality is complex and nuanced, Cat's behavior reminds us that the influence of the multiple factors must be taken into account understanding their actions. Because as we have just stated in the presentation, the behavior of cats shows that simple explanations are impossible. So much so that cats have the tendency to react differently to the same stimuli within the framework of the factors such as genetics, environment, and individual personality, like the sevenfold. Therefore, we need to know that more than one factor must be taken into account in order to understand the action of cats, like action of human being, just as Anekantavada predicts. Ultimately, cats' behaviors or calls can carry different meanings depending on the context and the interpretation. This reflects the idea that reality is multifaceted and suggested by the thinkers. So, Syadvada in the system of logic of Jain is also referred to as Saptabhangi Nyaya. Veda means knowledge, and here Syad refers the state of the possibility. That's why we call it sevenfold predication. In other words, the issue emphasized here is the possibility of the birth of the truth. Saptabhangi Nyaya refers to the knowledge of 7 different perspectives, that is, perception of the reality from the different perspectives. According to this doctrine, which we can briefly express as Nyayavada, the truth can have the possibility of being true from various perspectives. For example, a cat behavior that may seem random to a human observer may be very meaningful due to the cat's perspective and the knowledge based on the past experience. Like a purring cat scratching my neighbor. Again, another, the logical structure of the Jain logic is based on the epistemology and the ontology of their understanding, their philosophy. So Jain philosophy emphasizes ahimsa, which is non-violence and respect for all forms of life. As a matter of fact, the fact that each step in the 7-step inference method has truth value of correct as a result of understanding. So frankly, although we can say that cat logic is directly compatible with the principle, we can say that it's important for cats to be observed in their natural environment and appreciated by the Jain ethical compassion. So, when it's about the idea of karma, Jainism uses as that idea actions have consequences that affect the future experiences. And also it's the same case for the cats. For example, the cat has had positive experience with the people, we tend to make friends with them, while a cat that has been mistreated will be more wary of people. So, Jain logic and cat logic seem unrelated with each other at the first glance, but they both offer insights to the complexity of the reality and the need to consider more than one perspective in understanding this reality. Indeed, by applying the principles of Anikanthavada and Siyatwada to the study of cat behavior within the framework of this teaching that offers compassion and respect for all living creatures, we can better understand the diversity and the natural world and further develop our appreciation for the nature. So, well, as I told you, since I did this presentation for John years, and I'm a logician normally, but it was so much fun to find relationship between logic and, you know, he's a pioneer for the universal logic, yes? So, and he loves cats also, but as I did this after this presentation. I can keep you here one whole day. I'm not going to do this because the time is over. I see it from Mohammed's face. I'll be fine, I'll be done soon, very soon. Just a little bit time, okay, Mohammed? Because I want to share it with you. What's going on with your news and its cats? Okay, so should I finish it right now, or do you want to?
No,
yeah, you want to see it? Okay, he wants to see it. He didn't see it before. That's why. Okay, so I did this for the Buddhist logic and the cat's logic. I did it for the Aristotelian way, which we cannot make so many things with this. But let's see what's going on with the universal logic and the cat's logic. So, universal logic, as we know, is a field that deals with the study of logical systems that are valid across different fields and the cultures. So let us ask our question this way. What kind of relationship can be established between universal logic and the form of reasoning we express in daily speech and the term cat's logic in order to understand the behavior of our fellow friends? Well, we can answer this question by comparing some of the basic principles of universal logic with the principles of the cat's logic. You know, I'm not so professional on universal logic, like I'm going to compare it with some concepts. So I can put capriciousness versus the consistency. Yes? So universal logic generally emphasizes consistency in a reasoning and targets principles that are valid in a variety of the contexts. By contrast, cat logic appears capricious, like women's. Again, I say, my husband made me to put this picture. You see the capricious? So cats often defy human expectations and exhibit behavior that may seem irrational or contradictory. Well, we can compare intuitive behavior and categorical reasoning. Well, universal logic is generally based on the categorical reasoning and the formal systems. And contrast, cat's logic seems more intuitive and instinctive. So cats may not adhere to rigid categorical distinctions, but instead act based on the immediate stimuli, past experiences, and the innate instincts. Well, pragmatic adaptation versus formal rules. Universal logic typically operates within the formal rules and structures such as syllogism and the deductive reasoning. But Cass logic, on the other hand, is characterized by pragmatic adaptation to the environment and the situation. So Cass may not follow formal logical rules, but instead navigate their world through trial and error, explanation, and adoption. Uncertainty versus clarity. So, universal logic aims for clarity and precision in language and reasoning, often attempts to eliminate ambiguity and provide solid arguments. In contrast, Cass logic thrives on ambiguity, and Cass often exhibit behavior that can be interpreted in more than one way. So their communication through body language and vocalizations can be mysterious to the human observers. Subjectivity versus rationality. While universal logic tends to prioritize rationality and the objective reasoning, trying to minimize biases and the subjective influences, but Cass logic embraces subjectivity and the individuality, where each cat exhibits unique preferences, quirks, and idiosyncrasies that can defy rational explanations. Well, spontaneity versus predictability. Universal logic often seeks predictability and the reliability in the results, with logical systems designed to produce consistent results. In contrast, Cass logic delights in spontaneity and unpredictability. Cats surprise their human companions with sudden bursts of activity, inexplicable behavior, and impulsive decisions. Well, while universal logic provides valuable tools for human reasoning and problem solving, Cass logic serves as a reminder of the richness and the diversity of the cognitive processes across the animal kingdom. By appreciating both, we gain a deeper understanding of complexity of logic and behavior between the different spaces. Done, Mohammed. In fact, thank you. Thank you.
We don't have many time. I just want to say something. Well, what you were presenting at the end, universal logic against versus Catholic, it's not. I think it's not exactly universal logic. It's the traditional way of the way people conceive logic. I just want to say that. Well, I think we don't have so much time, but if you want to say something, we move to lunch, and if people want to have questions, they can ask questions during lunch. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very interesting. And I think we'll have interesting conversations over lunch.
Okay.
So please join us for lunch.
Well,